The guest of honor here at the farm in my grill is going to be a brisket. Going to have it slow smoked and put a sop on throughout the cooking time. And we'll walk you through all those steps here shortly. But first, we're going to get the grill started. Then I'll take you over to the brisket and show the seasoning and preparation process. All right, we're going to prepare a brisket. The brisket has two sides. It has the meat side right here. It has the fat flap side. The way I do it is you never want to cut the flat flap off. You want to keep it there. It helps protect the underside of the brisket as it's smoking. Helps seal in, keep the juices in. So what I like to do is actually cut it back and kind of hinge it back, and then I put in my veggies and spices and some hot peppers underneath the surface of the fat flap, and then I tie it all back together with butcher string, and that holds it together while it's in the smoker. Okay, so that's our next step here, is to cut the fat flap back. You need a pretty sharp knife. Start at one corner and work your way around. Bring the camera down here. See what I'm doing a little better. Just slow and easy. Alright, you get the basic idea. That's the way it's starting to look. When it's all done, this flap will be all the way back, and we'll have a nice pocket to put all of our veggies and good flavors and seasonings in. Okay, well, cut the fat flap, cut it all the way back. So that's where we're going to stick all the flavorful veggies and seasonings, and then we'll put a network of butcher's string all the way around it to hold it together while it's sitting on the grill and smoking. So we're going to get started on filling it up. Put some purple onion on in here. Fresh sliced jalapeno. This will add a little bit of heat, but not too much. So it's going to be cooking and smoking for so long, the spice will tend to mild itself out. But if you're scared of jalapenos, like I know some of y'all are, you could just use poblano or green pepper if you want. There's nothing wrong with some good old Tony Chachere's every once in a while. This is a spice blend from the Austin area. It's called Red Cloud Peak Seasoning. There's all kinds of good stuff in it. One of the things I like most about it is the cayenne and the paprika. So, good quality spices. A few more onions. And got some garlic coming too. Fresh whole cloves of garlic, crunched up and roughly sliced. That's just about all the flavor you'll need in there. Go get my butcher string now. Okay, now for the tying of the brisket. This is what I mean by butcher string. It's just cotton twine. That's all it is. You don't want to use some kind of polyethylene or anything like that because you don't want it to melt while it's cooking. Okay. I like to start at the skinny end over here. Just tie yourself a square knot. Don't want it too tight. You don't want it to start cutting into the meat as it's cooking. Just about every 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Wrap another wrap around it. Alright. They kind of do a little funky thing here on this corner to hold it together better as well. Go back across one more time with another wrap in between the other wraps. Okay, here we are at the pit. Got the brisket all wrapped up with all the spices and veggies and peppers and garlic inside. We're about to put it on the smoker. Now when you're putting the brisket on, start it off with the fat side down. Just kind of support the full length of it. You don't want the string to start to tear through the meat. That's what it looks like when it gets started. And what I'm probably going to do, since it's such a large brisket, we got the heat and smoke coming up from over here. I'm also going to build a little bit of a coal base on this side to more evenly cook it. And we're also going to add in some East Texas pecan wood. We'll get that going here shortly. We'll check back on it in a little while. Alright, it's time for the first sop of the brisket smoking. So with this sop I used olive oil because we didn't have our avocado oil here with us. I used pickle juice, Worcestershire sauce, and some Austin's Own barbecue sauce. So a real simple sop. And then we got the East Texas pecan wood smoking, and the hardwood charcoal cooking. It's going to be mighty tasty. a little stir. When you're smoking a brisket, since it does stay on the smoker for so long, you really want to make sure you sop it at least every 45 minutes to an hour. If not, maybe even more often than that. And our cooking temperature is right about 220 degrees. And like I said, it's going to take us a good 6 hours to get this cooked tender all the way through. Probably about 4 hours into it is when we're going to wrap it up in foil and continue to leave it here on the smoker. That'll seal in all those juices, not let anything dry out too much. Alright, that's that. Looking and smelling delicious. Hello, welcome again to Bass's Backyard Barbecue. On location at the farm. Been smoking a brisket now for about 4.5 hours. It is looking delicious. Let's take a look at it. Yummy. Okay, from here we're going to go over to the foil. It's hot, careful. Going to need to continue to cook for about another 2.5 to 3 hours. So I want to make sure that it does not dry out. Do that. We're adding some apple slices. You can use orange slices, any kind of high moisture content fruit and veggie. So, and remember, we do have the vegetables and peppers wrapped up inside the brisket as well. We're going to add some more on the outside. Drape some bacon over it, because bacon makes everything better. Most things better anyways. Slice open this jalapeno real quick. Infuse just a little bit more heat into it. Alright, bring it on over here and take a look at it before we wrap it up. Put the last bit of sop on. We'll see you again in about 2 hours. We're going to bring up the temperature in the grill to about, getting close to 300 degrees. It's been hovering around 220 this whole time that it's been smoking. You need to bring it up a little bit higher to really break down the fibers of the meat and make it tender. Add a little bit more coal to the side fire here. Top it off in the firebox too. that will do it. Okay, let's get the extras off. Get over to the side. Can't let good bacon go to waste. I'm sure somebody's going to use that for a little extra flavor in a bite. Right, we're about to transfer it over to a cutting surface. Right, here is the brisket. Delicious. Man, I wish you could smell what this smells like. Go ahead and cut the butcher's string that we have, holding it together. After you take brisket off the grill, you've got to let it set for a little while, let it rest is what they call it, before you slice it. Otherwise it won't slice quite well. So we're going to leave this over here, cover it with some foil, keep the flies off of it, and then we'll slice it up and everybody see just how tasty this actually looks. And now we're going to eat it.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, Emily has a daddy long leg. And it says, nee.
No, it says, Daddy long leg, Daddy long leg. No, it says, I love brisket.
Stay away from the brisket, daddy long leg. Brisket has sat for about 15-20 minutes, and it is ready to slice up. Just like with slicing fajitas, there's a specific way you need to slice beef. You slice it against the grain of the meat. You slice it with the grain of the meat, it's not nearly as tender. Start at a corner and work your way all the way down. Zoom in here and check this out. Look at that. Beautiful smoke rind all the way around it. Nice and tender. Cook gets first bite. Oh my God. That's amazing. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Best's Backyard Barbecue on location at the farm.